Okay, this is doing histograms and cumulative frequency histograms and their polygons and ogives. We'll get back to that. So first we're going to enter our data. So in Geogebra Classic, you go to View, Spreadsheet. There it is, Spreadsheet. Close that. And we're going to enter our data. So first thing, we've got the classes. This is the class endpoints. We have 20 to 24, 28, 32, 30, 36, 40, and 44. Then the class centers. So centers, we'll leave that for now. We don't need that quite yet. And we've got the frequencies. I'm going to leave a space here and then start the frequencies. And they are 6, 3, 3, 4, 2, 2 again, 1. I'm going to leave a space here and just to make sure it all works out. The sum of, and it's going to be the sum of this column here. Equals the sum of, in the brackets, this column. It's not working. No. Here. Equals sum, open bracket, close bracket, C3 to C8. Why isn't that working? Delete. Let's start again. Equals sum, open bracket, close bracket. We're going to select C3 to C5. Okay. That was more difficult than it should have been. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do, we're going to have 2 more columns. We'll call this the right column. It's the right-hand edges of the classes. And then this is going to be the cumulative frequency column. Now the right-hand column is just going to equal these classes. So it's just going to equal whatever that is there. I can grab that and copy that down. Now the cumulative frequencies are going to be equal to that one. And this one's going to equal to the previous one plus the next frequency. If I copy that down, it should get to 19. Now, while I'm here, I'm also going to do class centers. Class center, I'm going to make this one the first class center here, which is equal to 0.5 times, and in brackets, I want that one plus the next one. They're the class centers, all the way down to 42. Now I've left gaps here and here and here for a reason. That's for the points when we do the polygon lines. So we'll come back to those. First we'll do the histograms. Now we need lists. We need 2 lists to do the first frequency histogram. We need a list of the class boundaries, where the one class starts and the other one stops, and that's this list here. So if I select all those points, then right click you can go create, and we're going to create a list. And over here we've got L1 is our list, and it's A2 to A6, which is not what I wanted. Let's delete that and try again. I want to go all the way to A8. Yes, that's better. That's our list of our class boundaries. And we also want a list of the frequencies, and here's the frequencies here. And we're going to go create lists. So I've got two lists. One is the class boundaries, that's L1, and L2 is the frequencies. So put this, hide this over here for a bit. And then we're going to do our histogram. Okay, histogram. Just type in histogram, and there's lots of different choices. We want this one. Histogram. Now this is the class. The first is the list of the class boundaries, which is L1. And if you hit the right arrow key, we go over to the second thing, and it says the list of the heights. This is the frequency column, so we're going to call that L2. And there we got our histogram. Now we can't see the histogram because the histogram starts at 20 over here. At 20, here it is. You can zoom out using the mouse wheel. I'm using this arrow, move the graphics, and if we get right onto the x-axis, we can span and shrink the x-axis. Now, we're going to change the x and y axis so it matches up more. So first of all, we can unclick the grid, no grid. If we right click and go to graphics, expand this one out. Okay, it's the x-axis. We want only the positive direction. And we want the distances to differ by 4. And we're happy with ticks and labels and okay. On the y-axis, we only want the positive. And we want it to actually cross at 18. Now our histogram's got a label on it. We right click on the histogram, right click and we go to settings. We don't want to show the label. We can make it look nicer, change the color, make it less, less see-through. Anyway, change the style, thickness of line and all that kind of thing. But we're happy with that. And we can change the graphics view. Whoop, there we go. So there's our frequency histogram. It starts at 18. These are the boundaries for each of the points. We don't have the class centers on there, but it's got the boundary 20 to 24, 24 to 28, all the way up to 44. Now we're going to do the polygon. Now for the polygon, put this here so I can see it. For the polygon, we want to hit the centers, which is the class centers actually, but we need to start and end at 2 bits away. So this is going to start at 18 and finish at 46. And it's going to start at 0 and finish at 0. This is why we left those bits out. So now if we select this, this is going to be the x coordinates of the points, and these are going to be the y coordinates of the points. So selecting all these, right clicking, we can go create, and we're going to create a list of points. Or we can click polyline. Just go straight for the polyline. Boom. And there's the polyline. Change the color of that to red. All the points are still, we don't need the points. Just clicking on the dots makes the points go all invisible, then if they're still there, they're just invisible. There we go, that's the polyline. That's the histogram. So we'll turn those off for now, because now we're going to create the cumulative frequency. So same thing. We want to start with 0. It's all good. Now we're going to create our cumulative histogram. So we need the class boundaries are the same, so they're still L1, but we need to create a new list of these, not with the 0 there, because that's for the points. Starting at the 6, going to 19, create a new list. This is list 3. Here it is there. We'll create a new histogram. The boundaries are still list 1, but now the heights are list 3. And you can see that's much, much taller. As you'd expect, it's cumulative, adding all up. So we can shrink that down by using our arrows. And we can change that. We can take the label off. That's over. And we can change the color. We'll make it purple, why not? Close that. So there's the cumulative histogram, as you can see. And now we're going to create the polyline for this. Now the polyline for this, it's going to start at 20 at 0 and go to all these points. So it's just going to turn all these ones. That's the right hand bit of the column, and that's the frequency, cumulative frequency. So if we just create the polyline, there we go, there's the polyline for this one. And we can change the color of that. Ooh, doesn't want me to. I can get it through here. Color, make it orange, make it a darker orange, darker orange. Anyway, and we don't need all the points. And that's the O-give, O-drive, whatever. So you can turn that on and off, turn that histogram off, and that's the original polyline versus the cumulative polyline. There's the original histogram, and here's the cumulative histogram. And here's the setup of the table.